like slanked away.
Yeah. So there's this guy who called me. I was rocking a really nice 2-month-old beard. Looked great. And this guy called me. He was like, "Hey, I'm getting promoted to gunny, and I want you to promote me." Um, and so I had to shave my beard 2 days ago because you flew out here so I could promote you, which is pretty cool.
Pretty good looking guy, with and without.
Dude, I look like a child without a beard.
It's definitely like 10 years younger.
Yeah, I don't like it. But no, so you just got meritoriously selected for Gunnery Sergeant. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what being meritoriously selected for Gunny means, and what is it that you do in the Marine Corps? What have you done? Tell us about you.
So, Tony Alvarez, been in the Marine Corps now for 13 years. Made a lot of friends along the way, including these two fine gentlemen, Parker Tomasi and Clay Hare. Spent some time in the Marine Corps shooting team. I'm an infantryman by trade, and now I work in recruiting. With that, I'm choosing to go career recruiting, and in the 3 years I've been doing recruiting out of Ohio so far, it's been a hell of a ride. One of the toughest duties I've done, and a lot of Marines who've done recruiting will echo, but also one of the most fulfilling. You get to see a lot of change with the people you work with, and take some people from nothing and some people who have it all already, and put them into a pair of boots, and give them the next steps of life. In my time, though, again, come across a lot of great people. I met Parker a long time ago, 9 years, nine years ago.
9 years ago.
When I was a marksmanship instructor at a weapons field training battalion in Edson Range on the West Coast. And Parker would come through with the recruits, series commander, and I'd be the guy on the range. Eventually, we got into marksmanship competitions within the Marine Corps together. From that, with the MCRD San Diego shooting team, and really the rest was history. It was a friendship that bonded, and in a way, it's been awesome to see it come this far. And same thing with Clay. Met him through the Marine Corps marksmanship competitions before I was on the shooting team, and again, 8-ish, 9 years ago, and thankfully now he can rock the beard.
Yeah, thank God.
He's got a great thing going, but it's just an awesome experience.
Sweet, man, awesome. Well, Clay, it's your turn to hold the talking knife.
That's right.
Since we only have 2 microphones and there's 3 people, we had to improvise, and now we have a talking dagger.
Typical situation for the Marine Corps. Just adapt.
And it worked, right?
Right, exactly. No, I was a 0331 by trade. Just rocked through the infantry, made it to sergeant, went to SY West, got forced to go to a competition for the first time and ended up placing first gold. And then that's when we kind of spotlighted there, and then went to matches, and then now we all met each other and everything. And I mean, I miss it. It's a lot of fun, but I got out for specific reasons for personal stuff, and ended up now I build pools and patios for a living.
You do a pretty damn good job at it too.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it's challenging, the transition part, but it's not like horrible. But I think, like we were talking about this, before, like the work ethic from most good Marines, there's really not a horrible transitioning out, because you can apply it. I mean, like coming here, like I've seen this online. We've both been busy, and like to come out here the first time and like just see it in person and like watch you thrive in your element is like awesome. Hospitality's been great here. Staff's really cool.
Awesome, thanks.
It's very well ran, so which I expect that from you, to be honest. But
fair.
But seeing from your officer side of the military transitioning to this and then running it, at a high level, like you're gonna crush it, dude.
Thank you.
You take this thing like 2 years down, 5 years, like you're just gonna compound.
Oh yeah, we're gonna grow, and we really don't have an end goal, because I don't really want to stop growing, right? So I think that's important. But so you mentioned getting first gold in your first shooting competition, which is incredibly impressive. Where we host competitions here about twice a month, and we have tons of people call us and they say, "Oh, I want to start shooting my competitions, but I'm not that good. How do I start?" And I always tell them the best way to get good at shooting is to shoot competitions.
Yeah, I mean, the shooting community, even like when you told me like go to your first match. I didn't have a comp pistol and the civilian side of things, and he said just go to a match and like I'm pretty sure someone will let you borrow
Yes.
one of their rigs. And like the shooting community has been amazing. Like even like just learning all the stuff through you guys to the outside of the Marine Corps. But, like going into, I was forced. Like the command that hey we need bodies, and then I just had fun. It was I got to go out of town for a little bit and go shoot a match. But I think it was just applying fundamentals and actually just shooting. Coming from the infantry side of things, it wasn't hard to get into it. But as for like new shooters, like I 100% agree with you. Like just get out there. It's one of the things like you just got to immerse yourself in it, and then you'll get the itch.
Oh, quickly.
Bad.
It's one of the first like Mando funds the Marine Corps makes you do that's actually fun.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's growing.
Oh yeah.
The sport is absolutely growing. So.
And on that piece, Tony, you and I on the MCRD San Diego team together, and then you left to go to 3-1 for a little bit while you were kind of pending orders to go to the big team, the big Marine Corps shooting team. When you first checked into the big team, action shooting was still kind of its infancy with the teams, right? Like we were like the years prior to that was primarily bullseye shooting, like one-handed pistol bullseye, high power bullseye rifle. And this whole concept of action shooting was kind of bleeding into the team, but not quite fully established as a program inside the team. And I feel like you and Tyler, under the tutelage of Scott Rader and Chris Scott, have really helped establish that team in a formal sense, right? Tell me a little bit about that, like what your journey early on in the teams was like.
Exactly what you just said, and another name that they're out there, Matt Gunlock,
and Matt, of course,
huge one,
of course.
Yeah, like when we did San Diego, it was heavily focused on bullseye. The Marine Corps shooting team was more the Marine Corps rifle team, Marine Corps pistol team for the longest time, and around 2017, 2018, somebody's gonna try and like quote me on that one. Like 2017, 2018, when the MIC, our Marine Corps marksmanship competition, started shifting from bullseye focus over to more of the action sports, such as like USPSA, two-gun, things of that nature. And that's when the team also, kind of around that same point, that's when they started shooting more USPSA, started shooting three-gun proper, and getting more into the action sports. And when I checked into the team, it was definitely still in its infancy. The first generation of those action shooters was on their way out the door, and then I got to come in behind them. And really, with like me, Tyler Arellano, Scott Rader being there, Chris Scott, and both of those guys phenomenal, and they both now work for SIG as instructors. Being able to go in and transform not just a shooting team, but also, I mean, part of the Marine Corps shooting team's mission is finding those advancements in marksmanship and bringing it back to the Marines. And we really transformed that to what it is today. And went through kind of like a cowboy phase, I guess some people would say.
There are some people who would say that.
There's a lot of people who would say that, and I got to experience that a little bit. But it's as with all things in the Marine Corps, it is the Marine Corps. Like you can't be completely cowboy, and I think a lot of us can say we've seen the writing on the wall that eventually the big Marine Corps was going to step in and capitalize on what the team was capable of. And kind of towards the end of my tour, I got there October of 2019, I think, somewhere along those lines. Right. And then I left in November of 2022. When I first got there, it was just focused on shooting and the mix, and that was it. Towards the end, you had the AMTP program that was in its infancy, getting started with people like John Glomba and John Treat, Travis Craigo, who left from the shooting team to go over to AMTP. Started the IMC for the new or the marksmanship program for IMC, the new program that our infantry Marines go through. And it really started just compounding the things that the team was getting involved in, going back to the fleet. We would do mobile training teams, MTTs. That was something new in that last year I was there, where instead of just hosting the MICMICs, we were actually going out to different units around the Marine Corps and doing tailored training. Anybody who would request us, rather it be MARSOC, Recon, supply battalion, and infantry battalion, we were going out there and giving them advanced training that they've never seen before. And now the team is very formal. I wish we had Tyler here. He's here yesterday.
He's here with us in spirit today.
He's here with us in spirit.
Yeah.
But just seeing where it's gone, I mean, definitely Big Marine Corps took over, but it's not a bad thing because it is helping transform marksmanship in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, and I can echo that so as just a young lieutenant, my first division match was a bullseye match in 2015. That's where I got my first medal. That's kind of what launched reinvigorated my love for competing in marksmanship. And then I've been fortunate that everywhere I went, I had a battalion commander who supported my desire to establish a battalion team if there wasn't one already. And then by the time I ended my active duty career, I was the OPSO at Stone Bay in Camp Lejeune. And that is when AMTP, Advanced Marksmanship Training Program, I can't remember. Program. AMTP had been established, and we're starting to see AMTPs getting ran up at SOI. Up in Quantico, the T3, or I guess they don't want us to say T3, but the Train the Trainer program. And so getting to see that full swing, like that shift in Marine Corps marksmanship ideology from bullseye to action shooting, and not just action shooting, but formalizing a program inside the Victor units in the combat arms community that, hey, it's not just about competing, but it's through these competitions and through this competitive world, that's what teases out the newest techniques and the newest methods and ideologies, and it's the playing ground for marksmanship, right? So we got to see that come full swing, which is really cool. That's where I left my active duty career to come start this thing. So,
like, speaking on that, like when I came back from the first match and then championships, coming back to SOI, so like SOI at that point was like, and still supposed to be like the elite to train the new guys coming in.
Yeah.
When I came back and that first time we won, and then I was in charge of the rifle range and stuff like that there, the instructors, it piqued their interest. They're like, wait, you just went and did that, and it wasn't bullseye. It was, actual practical training. So I got a lot of like combat experience guys, and that was like introducing that to them. We would have like little ranges and stuff like that on the side. And I've seen, at least online, even unit pages or people's private pages, like, young Lance Corporals and Sergeants, like on Instagram and things, talking about, I went to competition, and it was like da-da-da-da. So to see it from outside the Marine Corps, it's pretty cool, because like all the hard work that y'all have put in, it's reflecting. So, I know it's working.
And it's sustaining.
I'm not even in, and I'm seeing it from the outside world. So it's so cool to see a bunch of my friends, work so hard, build something, and then watch it grow, and the Marine Corps benefit from it.
Yeah.
So, like, big picture, like, for me, outside, it's, like, really cool to see that.
Yeah. And I want to talk a little bit about the difference between, so people get confused between the AMU, the Army Marksmanship Unit, and the Marine Corps shooting team. You're like, well, they're kind of the same, right? Like, because they're always competing against each other. And I'll be honest, Army wins quite a bit. They do.
Oh, yeah.
But their difference is they recruit people straight out of college, straight out of high school, who are shooters, and those individuals spend a career shooting for the Army. And they're more recruiting dollars, where, as you alluded to, the Marine Corps shooting team is more training dollars. Let's go find out of this competition program, out of traveling the world and staying competitive in competitive shooting. That's where we're going to find the best techniques for individual marksmanship. And let's go then travel around and host these Marine Corps marksmanship competitions, training units, doing MTTs, training units on these newest techniques. And then those Marines who attended those competitions can go back to their units, inspire younger Marines, get them excited about it, and then they go train, and it's just this building block approach. It snowballs. It absolutely does. And that I hope that never changes. I think that's very important for the Marine Corps to, if we want to call ourselves outstanding marksmen, then we need to live it. And we live it through the competitive shooting program, the CAP, Competition in Arms program. That's the lifeblood of Marine Corps marksmanship. So it's been really cool to watch Tyler Ariano, who had to leave us early. He was with us. He was here for the promotion, and he had to leave yesterday. So he couldn't stick around to do
Busy man.
this podcast. But hopefully he's doing good over in Las Vegas and not married yet.
Yeah.
One thing to add, kind of like piggyback off what you said, with the advancements in the Marine Corps, a lot of people, there's a lot of old heads out there. A lot of people say that, and a lot of young heads too that'll say it, that there's never change. I came in 13 years ago, and pistol call was on a B8 target.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was on a bullseye target, and the rifle call ART Table 1
Mm-hmm.
was based off of service rifle bullseye.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know that and would just shoot through it, but it matches very closely to the NRA and CMP courses of fire.
Yeah.
Now CPP, the combat pistol program or whatever we'll go by.
Yeah.
That's on an actual proper silhouette. It's a little bit more, I guess, practical base would be the best way to put it. That's an advancement in marksmanship. You look at ARQ, the new course of fire that all Marines are calling on, and that is if you've ever watched something like PRS or NRL, shooting from barricades, closing the distance, shooting from multiple different positions, using your equipment to stabilize the rifle.
Mm-hmm.
That's,
things that we would do in combat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Weird.
Well, you look at the background though, and where it comes from, and it's very close to some competitive sports, and it's not the bullseye ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I grew up on bullseye, and for me, shooting bullseye was cathartic. It was relaxing. That was where I would go to like decompress and feel better about myself. But if this is a warfighting institution and our qualification should induce a little bit of stress, right? Shouldn't it?
Yeah.
To me, that only makes sense. It shouldn't be this relaxing thing.
I won't lie, I'm kind of butthurt because I got out. I got out like right before all this new courses of fire took an effect. And honestly, like, you give me hell for this on the range all the time. I am like a foot on the gas pedal. My RPMs are up, and he's like, relax. I'm like, dude, I'm just ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And like, seeing how they're training all these new ways now, I'm just like, I think that would have been better for me at a baseline level to have that versus going and shooting the therapeutic style shooting.
Right.
Because, we go to the rifle range and people are freaking out back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, it's like, we go out there and we're chilling. Like,
we're
in our element. Like, we're working, but we're not working.
It's easy, dog.
Great.
I'll do this all day.
Exactly. The only thing that sucks is food. So, other than that, But I think that it's pretty cool to see it change. So, I mean, the fact that y'all have so much input on it, like, that's mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
Like, I know people that have changed the marksmanship program in the whole Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's been really, really fun to watch the development throughout my career for that, and to get to befriend people inside that community. Yeah, like you said some really awesome names, just Alex Go King, Josh Cardenas, Scott Rader, Matt Gunlock. Who can forget him?
Yeah.
Like there's some really great names, and a lot of really awesome individuals who are extremely passionate about marksmanship. And when I say passionate, like, they're not just passionate about it from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. when they're at work. Like, these guys spend all week talking about practicing and doing and rehearsing and pushing themselves on the range. And then what do you guys go do on the freaking weekends?
Shoot.
You go find a local match, and you drive 3 hours to Sir Walter and you go shoot. All of that gear and all that stuff is all personal dollars, training classes, personal dollars, ammunition, personal dollars. When a young sergeant in the Marine Corps is not making a whole lot, or a lance corporal, those individuals aren't making a whole lot of money, but they're still pouring that money and time in whatever spare money and time they have into this craft. And those are all those individuals at the Marine Corps shooting team. So it's really, really great to see that level of passion but hard work actually pay off and actually make true institutional changes.
Oh yeah,
which has been really fun. I miss that part about it a lot.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of good shooters out there too.
Oh yeah.
There's some hidden gems in the Marine Corps. There's a couple guys that I've shot with at the local matches that they are Marines. They shoot outside, like Camp Pendleton. I used to shoot at one in the club, Ironsides, right on Oceanside, and a lot of other Marines shot there. Some of them really good. Some A-class, master class USPSA shooters, or shooting at Pala outside of Oceanside, kind of about 30 minutes from base, 40 minutes from base, and they host some big matches. PRS, USPSA, IDPA. I mean, you name it, Pala kind of does it. And again, a lot of Marines, and one thing, there's a couple Marines, I won't name drop them on here because they're not as involved, but they're good shooters, never been to the Marine Corps marksmanship, like one of the competitions, and they're hidden in the Marine Corps. They're shooting, they're competing. Yeah. They're just waiting for that time to shine, and there's a couple of them out there that will, and they're going to be big names. Yeah.
And finding that emerging talent, that's also part of the objective of the Marine Corps marksmanship competitions, because you mentioned earlier your first MIC you placed in you got one of the was it first gold or was it?
Yeah, it was first gold.
First gold. But we say first gold, people are like, what, there's a second gold?
Yeah.
What does that mean? So in these Marine Corps marksmanship competitions that you guys put on, you would travel to Okinawa or Hawaii or California or West Coast, East Coast, whatever, and put on those competitions where all those units, per Marine Corps order, any battalion commander may field a team. He may expense his battalion O&M funds to field a team. And those Marines go and compete in the MIC. The bigger MICs are what, 200, 230 people?
Yeah, they're growing. The team's trying to grow it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it as small as like Hawaii.
Hawaii's pretty small.
It's not a lot of Marines there.
Yeah.
You might have 100 Marines competing in a match.
Yeah.
Again, the battalion commanders have to let their Marines go, and some of them see the value, some don't. And that is something that's changing and getting better.
Yeah.
The other thing is like operational tempo. There's going to be obviously some things going on with the units where Marines won't be able to let anybody go.
Yeah.
When senior leadership gets involved and starts competing, that's when the ball moves the fastest.
Yep.
You
get your battalion commander out on the range. Get him out on the range, and don't just let him watch and do the dog and pony show. Make him shoot a stage.
Yeah.
The second he shoots a stage, that light bulb's going to come on. Like, I see the value in this.
Because they only know structured Marine Corps rifle training.
Yeah.
And then they see that, and it's like, wait, my Marines have access to this?
Absolutely.
And then, wait, there's a bigger element of this that they don't even know about up at Quantico.
Right.
And it's all, the ball is moving constantly. Like, we're always moving it forward, and then you get them out there, and then, or like senior staff NCOs go back and they tell their officers, hey, I want you to come to this competition next year with me. They make time to get out there. They see the value, and they're like, hey, we got this whole platoon's going to try to go on a gap period. Just planning.
Yeah. There was it. 3rd LAR brought there was an entire company that came out to 29 Palms one year for
2019.
Yeah, 2019. And he brought in his whole company, and that was phenomenal. He also got their rifle qual, so his company was in the goal. Like as a company commander with training objectives, heck yeah, man. But yeah, so you have a bunch of competitors at each region, and they all compete, and then it's not just the top 3 who get medals: gold, silver, gold, bronze, silver, or gold, silver, bronze.
Yeah.
There's my public school education. But it's the top 10% get medals. So if there's 100 shooters, the top 10 will, like, first 2 will get gold, the next 3 will get a silver, and the next remaining 4 or 5 will get a bronze. And so you got first gold your first year out, which is impressive.
And honestly, like I didn't even want to be there because I was married at the time. You know, I was already working as a combat instructor, so my hours were crap. And then they're like, hey, you're going to go away for a while to go do this match. And I was like, okay. They just got out there and just honestly applied the things that my seniors had taught me, and then the small things that I learned being at SOI around such great other instructors. After that, though, they took me out and threw me in the ISMIT. So I was now, they're like, you're going to go teach kids how to shoot. And I'm like, okay, I mean, that's still cool.
Great.
Because I was doing an 0311 instructor when I was a 31.
Okay.
They asked me, hey, do you want to do 31 or you want to do 11s? And I was like, you have to think about the rotation of instructors. So they would, I wasn't going to be there long enough to make a true long-term impact. So I put a brand new instructor in there, and I just went and taught 11s.
Okay. So you made a selfless sacrifice.
Yeah.
You left your machine guns behind.
Now I did go help out on the range.
Okay.
Whenever they'd ask.
Yeah,
so I'm like, hey, I'm going to leave, but like, I'm getting some belt time. So, but first year went out, took gold. And then the next year, Tyler came out, and we were both wearing chest rigs. And at that time,
that was
like,
2019.
Yeah. They're like, what are you doing? Like, you're going to be slow. and 2 infantry dudes. Like we met each other. He's wearing Peltors. I'm wearing the cheaper the Walker version, whatever it was, out there, and we go through and Chester was like infantry. All right, cool, bro. And then we went out there, we smoked it, everything, and Price also. That's when I met him that year.
Price Smith.
Yeah. And he
What a dude.
He took dude, legend. He beat me out. He was tripping the whole time. And I'm
Price
just like,
beat you out? That doesn't sound. Does your wife know?
Yeah. It's a rough topic. Because at the wedding, they were all there and everything. And it was just like, why are you such a goof, with all these guys? And I'm like, it's just, we've been slinging lead together for so long. It's just comical the whole time. But he beat me by a couple points, and he was sweating, but he shot in college.
He did.
So he's been shooting for a very long time. So he's sweating to win his first one, and I'm like, I took second gold.
Okay.
So he, of course, still doesn't let me live it down to this day. But like the matches were just so much fun, and then obviously going to championship.
Oh, that's so sad, dude.
Memory lane, bro.
Yeah, dude.
It's like, hey, you guys just live in the moment.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the thing, like about these, the open forum podcasts where you don't like you have your topic. Wow. You have your topping. I can't talk.
I
think we're culminated. I think this is it.
We are so good in here. The phone died. We had about 20 minutes of conversation. Deep, awesome conversation.
So intimate and memory lane, feelings lane.
Never back.
And
y'all missed so much.
The camera went to sleep. So we're gonna try and backtrack, try and cover a couple of topics that we it was very genuine, good conversation.
Yeah.
So if we repeat something that we've already covered, because the three of us have been hit in the head a couple of times.
Few.
You got 3 special people right now.
Some people are half retarded. Clay is like 3/4.
Yeah. And I went to Albuquerque public schools, man. Like not the greatest out here. So.
But I think the last thing I'm talking about, like I met Tyler.
Yeah.
Being 2 infantry guys and then competing. We were only people wearing chest rigs and everything, and then us smoking out that thing, and then Price beat me out for first goal, and I take second, and then going to championships. Like the Upshur ride, in my opinion, is so far out and disconnected. But like you give Marines a govy, give them barely any service, enough for me to play video games.
Yes.
Midnight.
In the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night.
Left. Like, shut up.
Yeah. PUBG was the big thing at the time.
Yeah. So that was like my decompression at the time. But yeah,
in a squad bay.
I mean, I was playing till like midnight 1. Then we were going to compete in the morning.
So
you got guys that are taking this very, very serious, and I'm just there to have fun.
Yeah, these guys are like, this is my last chance to medal. I have to do well, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah, I'm in there with headphones on, screaming when I take contact. It's just PTSD in the back of my brain. But going
and to explain what championships is, all of the top medalists from the regional competitions, the mix that you guys would travel around putting on, they get an invite to go to championships.
Correct.
And so that's like the best of the best. Now, where if you and I were competing against each other at West, at championships, we're both from the West Division. We're now teammates representing West. And now we got to come together. We got to, and like those friendships that we've forged in championships, man, that's for life.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
It's kind of one of those things, like you stay in squad based, and I mean, some old heads.
Yeah,
some old head's gonna roll with this one, but it really, when you put everybody in squad bait, the ring comes off. It's kind of like the saying: if you put a bunch of lance corporals in a room, they're gonna act like lance corporals. If you put a bunch of first sergeants in a room, they're gonna act like lance corporals. When you put a bunch of O and E in a room together, across the spectrum, well, you get the spectrum.
When many of them are on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I will say this. Now, most of the officers that I've met at championships, I can give some black insignia and they'd fit.
Okay.
I would say that across the board, that most of the officers that I've met, they could be a part of the black mafia.
Mm-hmm. Well, those are the dudes who care about the right things. They care about combat power. They care about marksmanship. They care about like the training that, like if you think about it, warfare is fought and won by occupying space. A 19-year-old has to occupy that space. Not an F-35, not a HIMARS, not a SIGINT guy, but like a 19-year-old carrying a gun. He's going to occupy that ground. So he better, like, if as leaders, like if it's our responsibility to do anything about anything. It's to get that young man home to his family.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? Through freaking good training.
And I met some pretty decent guys through that. I mean, Sean Chang.
Sean Chang.
Perfect. He just shot, what was it, a couple weeks ago in Quantico. Inner service. He just shot inner service in Quantico.
Mm-hmm.
Parker Tomasi. Perfect example. Price Smith. Another one.
Frank Gow.
Mm-hmm. Billy Barefoot.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good officers out there, but kind of backtracking to like being championships. I mean, we talked about Tyler a little bit, was in this room, and we talked about like Price Smith. He's another one. Like me and Price and Tyler, we were all at Clay's wedding. That year, 2019, that championships, I'll say everybody has good trips. Championships is always a blast.
Mm-hmm.
But we had something special going. We had a lot of people, and we stayed tight. And years down the road, I remember when I met Clay, we were enemies. We were on the firing line together, shooting the AR. Like there is an ART portion that some of them make. I think they've gotten rid of it.
Yeah.
But we were shooting the last portion. We were shooting the regular qual. And next thing you know, me and Clay are in the same firing point. And I had heard about Clay, and Clay had heard about me. Yep. And we're sitting there in the prune on the 0 range. And next thing you know, I'm like, "You're Clay?" And he's like, "You're Tony?" And I was like, "Shit, this is a guy.
This is the dude
behind him."
Like, fuck, I gotta be here.
Yeah.
And then even Parker met him at intramurals for the San Diego shooting team before I hadn't even gotten that far. So some of the best friendships I've made in the Marine Corps have come from the competition arm program.
Yeah, and I've done that as well at when I got to Stone Bay as the OPSO. One of the tasks of the weapons training battalion in Stone Bay is to maintain and stand up and maintain the base shooting team, which is something that it gotten dropped from our predecessors before us. And my CO and I got there around the same time, and we see that. And we see that we're doing our TO review, and he just like looks at me and he's like, "Yeah, do it." And so we set up the base shooting team, and those guys, even now, like right now, they're carrying the torch on East Coast. And that's one thing too. You pour all your passion and all this effort into it, and then you leave. You PCS. You're gonna leave, right? So when I leave, is that all just gonna get thrown away and forgotten? But these guys who are still over the base shooting team in Camp Lejeune, they're carrying the torch. They've at championships they've won team pistol, team rifle 2 years in a row. I don't know. I don't remember what they did this year if they won team rifle and pistol again. But a lot of those dudes are double distinguished now. I've had 2 of them come out here to the ranch as well. They taught a class, Tanner Wright and Tim Welch. And like they've been influential in affecting positively the marksmanship community on the East Coast as well.
And like whenever I was in like going to these matches and stuff, the teams that were brought, and then I obviously before we formally met, I could always tell that the guys that were together, someone in that group that you were in had to do it. I didn't know it was you at that moment, but obviously when I saw you perform on the range, it was obvious. But someone was coordinating everything over there, the training and stuff like that, because the SOI, we don't get that designated training time, or there's no like formal order for a team.
Yeah.
We just put it together and made it happen because Major Beetle was there at the time.
Yeah. It's not who's good at shooting, it's just who can shoot.
Yeah.
Right?
Wife approved.
Yeah. Yeah. Household 6 said yes, cool.
Yeah, cool. Hey, you guys are going for a week.
Yeah.
So, but no, I definitely could see the teams that you stood up, year after year. It was always organized. There was methodical training going on, and the guys were progressing. So like year 1 to year 2 was for me being an outsider looking at it, I was like, oh wow, these guys are like very coordinated. Like they were very good. So shout out to you on your training.
Thank you.
So
yeah, and their jerseys are pretty tight, aren't they?
That's a unique thing. A big thing with like those teams, like the post and station teams. That's what we call them, post and station, the base teams.
Yep.
For a while, San Diego was the team. Like the MCRD San Diego, they would go. They wore their maroon sweatshirt.
Yeah. I still got my maroon hoodie. Heck yeah.
That was the team that would usually clean house. Then you've got Paris Island shooting team. It all comes down to the leadership that supported the team.
But they would put up some heat too.
It's the big key too.
Yeah.
And the big thing with those postal station teams is it's a collateral duty. You've got Marines, like when I was at San Diego, and I was a range instructor in an RSO where you're working from sun up. Literally, you're out there before the sun comes up to almost sundown, and then finally it's like 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. You're done, and it's like, hey, let's practice for the team now. So you're doing it on top of your regular duties, and whoever's leading it is also doing it on top of their leadership responsibilities. So MCRD San Diego was the team for a while, and Paris Island shooting team as well. But then, lo and behold, you throw Parker Tomasi at a weapons training battalion at Stone Bay, and he gets the opportunity to put together a team. Not only put together a team, but like being on the Marine Corps shooting team, we've got some sharp jerseys. The red jerseys that we have are awesome. But man, the frog pattern Marine Corps jerseys for that they put together.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
Dude, I wish I could take credit for those frogs. It was either Sergeant Turpak or Staff Sergeant Schroll who had those, who like jokingly was like, oh, like these, like I put out a couple different designs and different patterns, and they're like, oh, I like these, I like that, but what if we put frogs on that? Just like joking, you know? And then it was just like
light bulb moment.
What if we actually put frogs on that? Like, okay.
And it really is that tradition from the 40s when that pattern came out that followed through, and that's why the Lejeune shooting team is a force to be reckoned with now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like the legacy that you left, like starting a legacy here at Legacy Ranch, but the legacy you left with that team and the progression that they've had, unreal.
I'm really proud of them. And to their credit, the CO that replaced the CO and gunner combo that replaced Lieutenant Colonel Geiger, our CO, and me as the OPSO. Those two guys they saw the foundation of what we were creating, and a lot of COs will come in and just kind of erase or not pick up what the guy who came before him was doing, and they'll do their own thing. But he fell in line with exactly what we were doing. He saw the vision, and it aligned with his vision, and he has given them so much support and backing, to the point where he shot at Mick East this year. And he double medaled.
That's impressive.
I can't remember if he actually went up to shoot championships or not. But so you have a lieutenant colonel who's the CO, the commanding officer of Weapons Training Battalion, Camp Lejeune, who cares about the exact same things we've been talking about.
What a flex.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As an enlistment, like that's a flex.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Like how many colonels and lieutenant colonels have you seen at Mick? There's Colonel Yackley.
Yeah.
Obviously.
He was a big shooter.
And like maybe one or two majors, like Major Gow and me.
Major Tim Hitchhack.
And Major Hitchhack. And that was really it. Everything else was captains and below and gunnies and below.
I'll give credit to one, Colonel Liston.
Colonel Liston. True.
When I was with the Marine Corps shooting team, he was our CO for a while, and he would find a lot of opportunities to come out to the range with us. And sometimes you've got COs who are kind of standoffish. You've got some that look at the team as kind of like, I guess, show ponies. And then you've got some that completely capitalize on the benefit, and he would come out there and he was eager to learn. And a lot of times, like I've had senior leadership, and sometimes they're more focused on the leadership part, and that's their job. I mean, it's the Marine Corps. But he was eager to come out there and learn as much as he could from us, and that was awesome working with him.
And Colonel Yost from Edson with Gunner Jones.
Yeah.
Pairing, again, having the support of the CO is
Gunner
everything.
Jones, phenomenal.
Love him.
I will say this, like I think I've never said this, but like I'll die on this hill. There are some officers in the Marine Corps that are like they could be enlisted men. Like they would fit right in. So I mean, you're one of them. So I mean, like, there's definitely like people that fit in the.
I hope I would have at least a rocker with that, and not just one chevron.
It goes back to saying you put them all in one room, but but I mean, I think like the like-minded part of it, like, getting the leadership out there is a big part. I think if that happens, it spreads like wildfire. You guys like. Lance Corporal comes back, has a great time. Gunny comes back, is like cool, get away for a little bit. But you get an officer out there who really enjoys himself and comes back and advocates for this.
He's on fire for it.
Yeah, like the ball moves, so it's really cool to see that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's been really cool. And Colonel Jones, man, when he was the last CO of Weapons Training Battalion Quantico, that guy, full support. Like he loved the idea and understood the mission of the Marine Corps shooting team and really how to empower them. I mean, now he works for G Code. He's retired and living the life and works for G Code. Now he's in the shooting industry,
I was off going when he took over.
Yeah.
And I've heard so many great things about that man from my peers left behind on the team.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have got to spend time with him because of all the great things I had heard. Definitely one of those, I like to use the term, although good leaders, a good dude, just there for the welfare of everybody, there for the mission, but take care of people and fits right. Like you got a mold that for that very specific position. And I mean, you're talking cookie cutter fit right in.
Yeah, absolutely. But the real thing, the big thing that we want to talk about is the whole purpose of you being here right now is your selection and promotion to Gunnery Sergeant, not just Gunnery Sergeant, but meritoriously, which being a meritorious corporal and a meritorious sergeant, that's great. I don't want to take anything away from the Marines who have earned those ranks meritoriously. But to me, there's something special about a meritorious staff NCO because you're going to be in a leadership position already, which means that you've been board selected by your peers in leadership saying that this Marine is outperforming his peers and is ready for that rank, that higher rank, which is, again, going to be another leadership position. He's ready for that not only early, but he's ready for it right now. And you got selected, and the notification came June 1st. And here we are July 2nd. Well, it's July 4th right now, but we did your promotion on July 3rd, just 30 days later. So having you come out here to do the ranch to do your promotion, one of the biggest highlights of my career. I am still a reserve, or I'm still an officer in the reserve, so I still have a commission. So your promotion is completely legal and lawful. So I did your promotion. I did your oath. Tyler read your warrant. Clay, being out, was our cameraman. But having the boys back together was really fun for that really special occasion.
Getting to pin you twice has been pretty cool from being out standpoint.
Yeah.
We did it at my wedding, last rank, and then this rank we did it here. So that was like, for you to call me twice like that was, family.
Special.
Yeah.
That's definitely a cool thing about the Marine Corps, and that's my last promotion when I got promoted to staff sergeant. I wanted to do something unique. I had seen people my whole career do things unique. I happened to be the best man in Clay's wedding out in Nashville. I was going through recruiter school at the time.
You got leave during recruiter school.
Yeah, do you want to talk about? He was sweating.
You're talking about hitting the shot, like threading the needle. I don't know if it's gonna happen. Like this is like
yeah.
And then it really narrowed it down. But I wanted him to be there for that, and it's just he made it happen.
It came. I think it was during the 72. I flew out on a Friday night after class, and I was back on Sunday.
Yep.
It was a quick turnaround. But I also had happened to get selected for promotion, and I was like, these are two things that are just lining up.
Mm-hmm.
They originally weren't going to recruit me over at recruiting school and like pull the warrant and everything over, which I get it. A lot of times if you're away at a course, they won't. They'll wait for you to get back to your parent command. But being I was TAD to the schoolhouse, and Tyler also standing in a wedding was coming from the team, I worked it to where A, I could go to the wedding. We were sweating because I was the best man. But B, that Tyler was able to bring the warrant with him to the wedding. And then Price Smith, another great friend, another officer, he's a major now, and he also is in the reserves, but he's in a unit down in Florida. What's going to be there is like, well, we've got a staff NCO, we've got a promoting officer, and got one of my absolute best friends. I was like, let's do this, and got promoted in a very nice pasture right before the wedding out there in Nashville.
Hell yeah.
And then this year came around, and I was like, I need to do it. Something again. I knew I was on this board a couple months ago, and my leadership talked me up. I was very, very. They made me sound very competitive, so I'll go with it.
Okay.
There was 16 spots allocated for meritorious gunny out of. I mean, there's hundreds of station commanders across the country. I mean, you're talking the whole country, and I met the criteria to go on the board. I've been killing it since I've been on recruiting duty. My first year under a very hard recruiting climate. I mean, you're coming off the tail end of COVID and all the other things.
True.
Yeah. And a lot of no access for recruiters in a school. I was put in an office by myself, an hour away from my nearest peer.
Yeah.
I was literally alone and unafraid, and I did the only thing I knew how to do, and that's just grind. And if you do the right thing and you're successful, everybody leaves you alone, and you'll eventually progress. And Rookie Recruiter of the Year for RS Columbus that year. After that, RS Cleveland and Columbus did a merger into RS Ohio, and then I figured out who the best guys were and kept pace with them.
And that's a testament to, because recruiting duty, there's drill instructor duty and recruiting duty. Both suck. I've seen both sides, and I know you've seen both sides being at Edson. Both sides suck in their own right. Drill instructor duty, very physical, very stressful in that sense. Being around recruits, you're having to act angry all the time, so therefore you become angry all the time, and controlling yourself to not break and violate the recruit training order in those kinds of ways. So there's a lot of dudes who get relieved for that. Recruiting duty, it's less physical, though you do, physically run your pulleys and get them ready for boot camp. But the mental side of it is stressful. Having to make the cold calls, you're in a very uncomfortable position all the time, 7 days a week. And so a lot of guys can't handle that kind of pressure. They don't meet mission. They get relieved. But you not only did that and thrived, but you've done that and thrived in such a way where you're now meritoriously promoted and going to go become a career recruiter and do that persistently for the rest of your career. And that's just a huge testament to who you are, and it speaks volumes about you, dude. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, it's been a long road. I mean, I've been in it for 3 years now. And that first year was a grind. I mean, we were working Monday through Saturday on the normal, and it's not like just working and go home. It depending on where you're recruiting at. Like I know I have friends of mine who are down in like Florida, Tampa. Pretty easy life down there. I mean, it's still hard duty, but compared to like up north in the Midwest or out west, I mean, we were 7:30 in the office and sometimes midnight getting home, and then Monday through Saturday. Saturday was a work day. And then occasionally shippers would leave on Sundays for Mondays back then. And then also you'd have processors to go to BEP Sunday and Monday. So you're talking months on end, and you don't get all the 72s and 96s usually on recruiting duty.
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember like when you went into it, like I knew it was going to be rough, but I didn't realize how hard you were going to have to work to do. Like you would disappear. Like, and we would keep in touch, and I would have to like literally reach out, like, hey, like,
are you alive
right now, dog? Like, I know, like, because he told me he's by himself. For what's your square mileage coverage?
Originally, I had a program where I covered 13 schools in like 7 counties,
and now
now I'm a station commander. I oversee the station that I worked under, and now I have 4 offices with Marines that are in them, and it's close to 4,000, 5,000 square miles with 55 high schools.
That you're just constantly
bouncing all over the AO. The amount of mileage I put on my government vehicle, my first year I put 50-something thousand miles on my government vehicle. That first year. In a year.
Oh my gosh.
I think the average is
12.
About
1,000 miles a month.
I've lived in Ohio for 3 years. My personal truck, I've officially rolled over as of this month 11,000 miles in the last 3 years on my personal truck. I've put over 100,000 miles on my government vehicle with the amount of driving.
But that dude, I think that's a very proper use of a government vehicle. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I am everywhere.
Not Upshur.
Yeah. Not Upshur. And all of your good luck driving through Camp Upshur or to Upshur.
Getting rear-ended in Manassas on that trip, getting a new rental, hitting a deer like the next night. I was driving. The rental was under my name in DTF. We had just gotten a new rental after getting rear-ended, and driving back at night. And there's a lot of deer on the road from Upshur. And it's kind of one of those things where like you kind of just sense it. And we're going down the road, and I just had a feeling like something else is going to happen. And sure enough, we're going down the road. Deer's on side of the road. Looks across the road. I was like, okay. I started slowing down. They seen him just in enough time. He's around a bend. He looks back towards the tree line, and then looks back across the road and takes off.
Yep, that was the time. That was the time.
His time was up. And sure enough, put him into the grill of the rental. God, I had another trip when I was with MCRD San Diego. Mm-hmm. We drove up to the Fleet Week match in San Francisco. And on the very last night of that trip, our rental was in a secure parking lot, literally only one way in and one way out. There's buildings on 3 sides with a little guard booth. impressive, right? We get back, and of course, like our car and like 7 other cars in that tiny lot all had their back windows broken out. Couldn't even get a police report because it was so common up there. And the whole drive back from San Francisco to San Diego, which is not a short drive, we had Chris Scott in the back seat with all the free air.
And on the day you're flying out here, you were going to get a ride from somebody. And what happened to his Govy?
Oh yeah, literally three days ago, one of my recruiters, I get a call 6 o'clock in the morning, and hey, one of our government vehicles had the window broken in. So yeah, bad luck with that.
No offense, dude. If I ever have a Govy and we're on the same trip, you're not allowed in the vehicle.
I can't even touch it. It's not something
I will pay for your Uber fare.
Like now my other 2 Govies that I've had, I had a car, a sedan my first year, and then now I have an SUV. Flawless.
That's good. That's good.
You got it.
Knock on wood.
Oh man. But dude, I'm so happy that you were able to come out. One, that you thought of me to be your promoting officer. That's a huge honor whenever you get the phone call of, hey, I got selected. Hey, congrats, bro. That's awesome. Can you promote me? Like, absolutely. Like your first phone call to me was, he was like, can you fly out to Ohio and promote me? I was like, absolutely. I didn't even know when it was, where it was, like what it was going to be. I didn't know what my calendar looked like, but I was like, absolutely, I'll do that for you. I will be there. So it's a great honor to be able to be the promoting officer for you, but that we get to do it in such a special place to all of us. And Ty, just marksmanship oriented. It's 4th of July today. We're doing a 4th of July benefit and fundraiser, and this place is full of people. And we've got food trucks out back. There's music downstairs. There's bounce houses for kids. There's full auto rentals. That I got a nice image of Clay's butt rocking a 240, just jiggling.
So you can't see this thing, but it is a.
I will post that video. I don't care if it gets taken down.
You'll see.
I don't care.
Oh, when you asked me like how long has it been since you shot a machine gun, I think it was like 2019, give or take, like going out to the machine gun range and whatnot. Like, I won't lie, like that was shooting out here competitive, because like this is my first time shooting competitive in 3 years. I've had a kid since then, and life
and starting a business.
Starting a business. Yeah, so it's been very busy, but like shooting out there in the machine gun, man, like I'm getting jitters talking about it. Like I miss it.
Yeah.
Like shooting rifles is cool. Belt fed guns, like you did it for a living. There's nothing better than that.
Yeah.
And then also, getting to come out and see the boys. Yeah. See you be successful here, getting to, promote you, seeing that.
Again.
Yeah. And you pinned him. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's like watching you progress. Cause like, I wanted to stay in.
Yeah.
But like watching him progress has been really cool. Like you've been, and it's not like for me, I was just like, hey, like I had to take the dive, but for you, it's been things have happened to you that have been out of your control in its entirety, and you have persevered and pushed through and made it happen. So like, dude, yeah, you're a great dude. Like the Marine Corps is lucky, very lucky.
You got histed to recruiting. Like the Marine Corps told you, said, Staff Sergeant Alvarez, you are gonna go be a recruiter, and everybody hates being a recruiter, and you're gonna freaking do it. And you're just like, bet. Let's do this.
Well, I'll be honest. I went out kicking and screaming.
You did that one. You were nervous. You were nervous.
I made the phone calls. I sent the emails. I will say, like as far as progressing this duty, kicking and screaming on the way out is I'll be honest to say it is one of the only things in the Marine Corps I've ever tried to like get out of.
Actively avoid.
Actively try to avoid it, and I couldn't.
And you've turned it into this thing that you're extraordinarily talented at, and you're thriving, and you're making a career out of it now. And that's cool, dude. That's so cool.
I never thought that I would hear you say I'm going to be a career recruiter. I was like, you told me that, I was like,
what?
First off, when you said I got hissed, I was like, ain't nobody going to buy from a Cajun with a lisp. So I'm like, you're not convincing nobody, dog. I hate to tell you, I ain't buying shit from you.
But and they're not sending you to Louisiana.
Yeah,
too.
Right. And you're not going to Louisiana, because they did try to get you to come to Nashville. He did try. I was like, hey, like come to Nashville. Like, you need a place to sleep for initially. Like I got you. But like like I said, like making all jokes aside, like you absolutely have crushed it. Like I'm very proud of you. So, I mean, I think we all are. I mean, you're one of the boys. Park's over here killing it with his range. You're staying in your element, crushing it. Ty's, trying to figure out what he wants to go do in regards to with all his training, and like seeing him have so many options available to him is great. And then you're going in to be a career recruiter, which, hey buddy,
7 years of my ride in the Marine Corps is over.
Here you go. 7 years.
Maybe more. I might go past 20.
I could see it.
I've considered it.
Yeah.
It's I have like those deep thoughts with myself, and I'm like, hey, if I meet certain benchmarks,
Yeah.
I could
Keep going.
Consider
Ride the
past
wave,
20.
dude. Yeah.
It's like, you know, the friendship group thing, like that we've all kind of like grown together. You know, I'm closer to you guys than the guys that went to Afghanistan with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we've all stayed in touch. We've made trips to each other. Like, you know, you didn't even look at your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a full operation here to run.
A little busy here.
Yeah, you're like 7 days a week grinding.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you're dedicated to this. You know, and you made effort for my wedding. It kind of was reverse role. Like, I feel like I was back in the Marine Corps. Like, you know, the libo. Like, we don't know if we're gonna get Christmas break, and they don't tell you till 2 weeks out.
Mm-hmm.
This one, you know, I'm at home with a baby. And now I'm trying to thread the shot to get here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the effort everybody makes, and then like watching us all succeed in and out is really cool.
It's so worth it.
Oh yeah,
it is. And boys, it's July 4th.
Yeah.
We have. I'm sure my dad's smoking some meats right now.
Oh yes, pool party.
Go hang out by the pool, sip some cold beers, enjoy our freedom and not having to divide things or measure things in centimeters and millimeters. But
I saw a meme that said have fun at work today, Britton. I was like, hey, what a perfect way to say it.
One of our this is a cowboy action shooting ranch originally, and now that we own it, like we still have a bunch of cowboy action shooting guys in the community in the area. And there's one of our customers. I'm not going to say his name for his privacy, but he's British. I think he's an American citizen now, but very very British man. I love him to death. He's one of our regulars. He's awesome. His wife, they're wonderful people. And when he heard we were doing this event for July 4th, he was like, "Would it be okay if we set up a booth that that we can do demonstrations for cowboy action? Is that okay?" And I looked at him and I was like, "I don't know, man. Like, it's on July 4th. Are you gonna be okay with that? Like, are you gonna be at home all sad?" I was like, "Your wife can come. I know she's stoked." He's like, "I get it,
It's a healthy amount of shit talking.
Yeah, but there's countries that use the metric system, and then there's countries that have been to the moon. So I'll stick with that and light off some fireworks. And
yeah, I can't wait for that.
I will say it's one part of the legacy. And backtracking on shit talking, being shooters, there's always healthy competition.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
And we did a competition immediately. We did two since we've been here.
We promoted you and then changed over and
immediately shot
shot the Raging Cajun Classic.
Yeah.
And I will say Ty's stage briefs and descriptions were phenomenal.
Our names in the order.
Yeah, you are.
What do you have? It's
Tony lead finger licking good.
Lead finger licking. Because that's a stab at a couple years ago on a shooting team. My blood lead levels were so high, I had to go get like a bunch of blood draws.
Yeah.
The Marine Corps is not happy with me.
Yeah, stop licking targets.
Yeah, don't lick the targets.
Yeah.
Don't use lead as a condiment on your hot dog or hamburger.
Crayons.
Yeah.
Just stick with crayons.
And your clay big booty Judy hair?
That's from championships. I wore a tucked in blouse, and my camis were busting.
And your best, what would you say your best feature is?
It's not one I have to work on, but yeah, thanks, Mom. But it's I think ever since that match, because it was what was the sergeant's name that was on the team that was in the 3-gun?
Kelsey?
No,
Kelsey's got a big ass.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
but I can't remember who it was. I was prepping for a stage, and it went silent for at least 10 seconds, and I turn around. And he literally looks me straight in the face and, "Oh, sorry, I was like stuck on your ass." I was like, "What, bro?"
Like actually, not even
week.
joking.
Yeah, he's like, and he literally turns around all about the stage. He's like, "Y'all see this?" I was like, and then I've never he's ridden my ass about this. No pun intended. But he's given me hell about that since then. I think I actually have the video. I'll have to show you.
Yeah.
But no, that's and then
if you have it, send it to me. I'm gonna throw it on our Instagram.
Oh my
Please
God.
do, please.
What was his?
The skipper. The skipper, because I was for the longest time Captain Tomasi. Like that was what you guys knew me as.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna out my wife. Last night, we were getting ready for bed, and she goes, "You're right. Clay does have a big butt." And she's like, "I'm jealous." I was like, "You're jealous that I don't have Clay's butt?" She goes, "No, I'm jealous that I don't have Clay's butt."
Yeah, I don't know how to handle that.
Yeah, I still don't.
Yeah, the Raging Cajun Classic.
That was fun.
It went to the skipper.
Yeah,
I did win.
By
I beat you by 0.33%.
barely.
Mhm.
Barely.
That's a barely.
And you know what? It was not competitive equity. We're sitting at like 6,000 feet above sea level right now. Lack of oxygen.
7,200 actually.
7,200.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's over there. We're over there pasting targets like can't breathe, no oxygen. And he's like, "Come on, guys, let's go."
Yeah.
So competitive advantage.
Yeah.
no, I mean it's because we're all natural shooters. I feel.
Mhm.
I feel like you guys are, even me being an infantry. Like, I think you guys are more scientifically trained and practically trained. So when I got on the range, like I love watching you guys shoot because I just go out there and just have fun. Like I've
Mhm.
never been like the guy to trip. I just go out there and I'm like, cool fundamentals. I did it for this long. Let me just apply them.
Right.
Just
And you
faster.
shoot pretty smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did shoot that match with no zero on either pistol nor rifle.
It's pretty good.
So I mean,
Yeah.
I kept up, but like
Yeah.
you know, I think even like I got it mentioned. I think the rust was just falling off as I ran from
Literally, rust is falling off.
But no,
Yeah.
like watching you guys burn it down, like it is very impressive.
Thank you.
So I'm still stuck on the video you posted of you shooting, reloading, shooting, out there at like 50.
50 yards.
Yeah, that was like I was like, can you please just like let me see this in person? Like I wanna witness this.
Yeah. That's fun.
And some of the rifles, you and Ty with a rifle, like y'all are good with pistol. Some of the rifle stages y'all do, I would not want to be on the other fucking side of that gun.
And Ty represented the U.S. in the rifle world shoot in Finland last year. So like we have international shooters here, guys representing our country, and it all stems from the Marine Corps shooting program.
Now let's address the elephant in the room, or the javelina in the room. There was a second competition,
Yeah.
sporting clays.
Which none of us do. None of.
You want to see how not to do it? Come watch me, man.
I've seen a lot of different competition, like 3-gun,
Mhm.
PRS, freaking USPSA, all quantified performance, all kind of things. Night shoots. I recently finally got into night vision and hadn't been shooting night shoots.
But
But
not out here with the pores anymore.
yeah, but sporting clays, trapping. Like I'm a duck hunter growing up in South Louisiana, so I can shoot a bird. But sporting clays, trap and skeet. First of all, that's like the golf of shooting.
It's hard.
It's hard. And that's like what I do. Like if I just want to go have fun and shoot, that's a fun way to do it. I would sometimes do it before duck season, just like to warm up at shooting and moving things. But man, we got out there. Clay was even nervous,
I told you, my foot's always on the pedal.
and we had a victor.
Out of 20 birds thrown, 20, our winner shot 8 of them.
Yeah, and well, we went back and forth, maybe like 10.
Yeah, we tied. We both tied at the end of the round at 7 each. So then it went to sudden death, where the first person to...
Which is great.
It was neck and neck, and
Mhm.
back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
You did have the best shot though. He shot the pigeon. It literally the center ring stayed and everything like a firework.
It just all of the surrounding clay just ejected off of the center, and the center just stayed perfect.
I'd never seen that in my life.
Neither had I. It was great.
I lined up perfectly on that bird.
And we did have one where it's just a bird coming straight at you, and it lands pretty close, and we're all shooting it kind of where it stalls out, at its apex, and then Clay gets up there and
It's fucking that wall.
and then it's coming at him, and it stalls out, and then it's still coming at him, and it's still coming at him, and it's still coming at him. You just waited for it to get super close, and you hit it with every single pellet in that round.
If you want to learn what not to do in sporting clays,
Come watch us.
come watch us.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a circus.
Yeah, it is. It's a good circus, though. But boys, I think that's been a good podcast. You got any save rounds?
No.
Honestly, just thank you. I know obviously it was for him.
Yeah.
The hospitality's been great. Like I said, it's
I do have safe rounds in.
Yeah.
you've got something here, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
So,
something special.
Same thing, like he does.
Yeah.
You stay grinding.
Yeah. But like all my success in the Marine Corps, all those teams, I have a great team here. All my employees, all my business partners, like this is maintaining a 500-acre ranch and shooting range by myself is literally impossible.
Farmer and business owner.
Yeah. So having a support system and the team that I do have, these guys work super hard, and it wouldn't be possible without them. So just transitioning from one great team to the next, building a team.
I'll just say, I appreciate the hospitality. I didn't find out about my promotion until May 20th. I think the message came out. So two weeks ago, barely.
Yeah.
And I mean, I reached out. I knew the results were coming out. My chain of command was talking me up, so I kind of put the feeler out there, like, hey, if this happens, this would be really cool to do. But then, I mean, nobody could act on it until we knew.
Until it had officially been published.
Yeah. Kayla, Clay's wife, was on them. I mean, with a newborn at home and expecting another one, it's a rough time.
You guys don't plan?
Yeah.
I'm like, honey, this is how the military works.
My mom tries to plan like international trips a year in advance. She's like, "Can you come, Mom? I'm probably deploying next year. I don't know." Like, no.
It was just at the drop. Like everybody's kind of standing by, like waiting to get it. And I mean, I had to buy a flight from Ohio to come out here. Clay came from Nashville. Tyler came from DC. Virginia, DC area. Yeah. Everybody, like drop of a hat, and for Parker and Jane, the hospitality hosting all of us, and with less than 2 weeks notice, saying like, "Hey, the boys are coming."
Yeah.
We're doing it, and it's been an absolute phenomenal trip. And what you built here at Legacy Ranch is, I mean, just driving around it, I'm in awe.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people dream of opening a shooting range and have all these aspirations of what they would want, and this is it. This is it.
Thank you.
And I look forward to see just how far you take it, even where it's at right now, and barely a year into starting, and seeing where it goes is incredible. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate this incredible trip that you provided for all of us.
Thank you, brother. Well, it's been good having the boys back in town.
You ain't lying.
Boys are back in town.